Toastmasters and dear guests, I would like to welcome you all here to the 305th meeting of our club, Toastmasters of Delhi. My name is Anand Prakash and I am the sergeant at arms of today's meeting. I am here to help maintain the parliamentary decorum of the meeting. The mission of the Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member gets the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and self-growth. Now to officially start the meeting, I would like to inform you that this meeting will be recorded and shared among members for self-study and reflection. In order to have a smooth meeting, we have 4 ground rules. First one, please avoid talking about religion, sex and politics. Second, please keep your mobile phone on silent mode and take 10 seconds to reflect. Third, please avoid in a moment, cross-talking and answering phone calls in the meeting. And fourth one, attendees are requested to be attentive throughout the meeting and support the speakers with a warm smile and applause. That's all. Let's have a good day. Now I would like to invite our hearing officer on stage, Toastmaster Ravi.
Thank you, Mr. Sergeant at Arms. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 355th meeting of Toastmasters of Delhi. 355th. How many years is that? Quickly.
31, 30.
No, not 31 years.
7 years.
6 years. So there was a time when we used to meet twice a week. So the club has been on for 6 years. We celebrated the 6th year anniversary of our club only last month. The topic today is how to make small talk. I am your Toastmaster of the day. We will be talking a lot more about it when we go along. For the moment, let me don my president's hat. I'll take the opportunity to welcome all the guests on stage. I will request you to come one by one and share with us your name. What is it that you do? Why are you here? And how did you come to know about our club? 4 things. Let's start with you, ma'am.
Should I just come there?
Please. You'll be on camera. So we need you in the spotlight here.
Person is a camera shy, then what?
That is what Toastmasters is for, to get your shyness out.
Alright, so I'm Rachna Aneja. I have 23 years of professional experience. I am into IT world, Senior Director managing the IT operations for Elsono, who has main headquarters in Pune, Chennai and Bangalore, but I'm working out of Delhi in, over here. On a personal front, I have 2 teenage daughters. One is 18, other is 13, and live in a joint family around nearby here. I'm sorry, I need to kind of...
Why are you here and how did you come to know about our club?
Alright. Why my here is to again enhance my communication skills. As you climb up the management ladder, there are many opportunities. You have to really address multiple kind of stakeholders. How do you really match your wavelength at each level, be it the leadership team or be it your team members or be it freshers? So that's kind of the enormous opportunity and experience that I want to gain through this class. How did I came to know about Toastmasters was my husband's boss is a member of Toastmasters, and when I expressed my a little bit of inhibitions around communications, that's when he recommended me Toastmasters. So that's all.
Thank you, Rachna. Hope you have a great meeting afternoon. Next, please, the gentleman in black.
Okay.
Yes.
Do I look at the
can see
camera
you.
or do I look?
However you're comfortable.
Yeah, okay. Hi, I'm Vikran Sethi. I used to work in Ernst & Young in management consulting, and I heard of Toastmasters from a couple of friends, one in Bombay, who's part of a club, one in Los Angeles also. And I basically want to improve my public speaking skills, be able to address an audience, and yeah, so that's my objective here. And anything else I have to answer?
That's about it. Thank you, Vikrant. Next, we have a repeat guest. Thank you.
So hello everyone, my name is Ajay Prajapati. Once again, I'm back at the second meeting for me. It's awesome to see you, by the way, here. And the reason I'm here because I just want to learn a lot from the people. Like I think it's far better just come in the market and rather than being in a frog of the well. So this is the reason I'm here, and I think that I will definitely have the great learning and the environment where I can learn and just at least break the ego inside. I have to be the best. That's what the reason I'm here.
Thank you, Ajay.
Hello everyone, myself Ved Dwivedi.
You
I
are
am
still a guest.
You should know Mr. VP membership.
So I am here to enhance my public speaking from much far experienced guys from you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ved.
So hello everyone, I'm distinguished Toastmaster Pratibha, and this is the second time I'm visiting the club after a gap of more than 6 months. I am here because I realized that I need to give the R counter a lot of exercise when it comes to noting down the R's and the Ums, etc. And that I really need to get used to starting in front of people and speaking again. Standing in front of people and speaking again. So, the stage is what I miss a lot. And I'm hunting for a club. So I've begun my hunt again. Yeah.
Pratibha, if you could please take a moment to tell our guests, how does one become a distinguished Toastmaster?
Oh, well, a distinguished Toastmaster is someone who's sort of completed the entire Toastmasters journey. I've completed my distinguished certification from Bangalore. So I initially became a member of Toastmasters in 2013 in Bangalore, was with the same club, and was a member till like a year back. But once meetings started, going back to face-to-face live meetings, so then I didn't have an option but to leave my club. So Toastmasters really is like, I think it's a great place to be because you get a chance to not just hone your skills, but at the same time to hold different types of skills and to help the others in honing theirs. And on top of that, taking on different responsibilities, be it like the club president or the VP membership, which will force you to go and say hello to guests, and becoming the area directors, completing an entire curriculum of different types of speeches, different types of parts. I was not a member of Pathways. I was a member of the earlier, format. So it's really the traditional communication program that I had completed. But at the same time, I was, the Pathways ambassador. Pathways is the new curriculum that was implemented in Toastmasters a couple of years back. So they sort of changed with the times. And they made it more in tune with the times. Earlier it was essentially just speeches, but now it's speeches to do with, I think, what you want to be in life, the type of goals you want to pursue. And was also the club president, of my ex-club. What I think really helps you is you get to take on different roles in every meeting. Sometimes you have to be the person noting down the R's and the Ums of every person. Sometimes you have to be the grammarian, which forces you to really be attentive and note down all the good words. But I think the one thing that helped me was being a mentor to people. Every member who becomes a part of Toastmasters has to over time become a mentor, right? Which helps you to not, to actually give back to someone and aid in their growth. So I think Toastmasters that way is a brilliant program. I have a tendency to always exceed the time. So,
thank you,
yeah.
Pratibha.
You have, I have not yet become comfortable
Fair
with.
enough, fair enough. You have
Thank you so
helped
much.
our VP membership and our general evaluator a lot today by explaining a greater part of their role. So we'll save time there, no worries. Can we have
Yes.
Good evening everyone. Chidranjan Sharma here.
So this was my second meeting as a guest member. Already last week I talked too much what I was doing. Basically I am preparing for UPSC, CSE and writing means this year fortunately by the God grace. So I am here to basically to improve my communication skills as well as leadership quality. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Chittaranjan. Last time we had a lot of people, including me, taking photographs with him as proof for a future help. Ma'am, if I can please request you to come on stage. And
Me?
yes, because you're a guest, a very valued guest. Ma'am, you're a permanent guest. Please, no, I insist.
I will not get chair. Please carry on.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Can we please have you on stage? If we could have just share your name, what do you do? How did you come to know Toastmasters and why are you here? Okay.
Hello, myself Manish Pandey, and by profession I am a mechanical engineer, and it's my first class here. And I got information from my brother. He is a president of Dwarka Toastmaster Club, and currently I am working and with Golden Precision as a sales engineer. That's it.
Thank you, Manish. Please do share your brother's number with me. I'd love to say hi. Ma'am, if we could have you on stage, please. We'd just like you to share your name. What is it you do? How did you come to know about Toastmasters and what are you looking for?
Okay. Greetings to all of you. My name is Swati Soni and I am manager in Indian Bank. So I just want to improve my public speaking skills, so I'm here. And I get to know about this place through Matt.
Thank you, Swati. Pleasure having you here. Nice. So we have, wow, 8 guests. And I think for the first time, the member count in the meeting is lesser than the guest, right? We had 3 who fell ill at the very last moment, unfortunately. So that's a record for the club. Congratulations, you guys. Let us note that down. Okay, moving on to the theme of the meeting, how to make small talk. Firstly, is it important to make small talk? Why? I am not in the camera. Thank you. Yes, so why is it important to make small talk?
I mean, it's very important to engage someone and to kind of have some small talks to give a kickstart. Is that what? I mean,
It is important to engage people and give a kickstart. Why?
Engagement is first point, that it is important to engage people and to give a kickstart to that communication between them.
Why is the kickstart required?
It's like an icebreaker between two people.
It's an icebreaker between 2 people. Why is an icebreaker required?
To meet new people, to make friends.
To make friends. Why is it important to make friends?
Because we are human, we are social creatures.
We are social creatures.
Yes, we have friends to live with.
Provide the platform to communicate with each other.
To build a platform or a bridge to communicate with each other, okay? What else? I think the best example we had was of our guests about half an hour ago, you know. All of you were sitting in a bunch, looking lost, till Pratibha took the initiative and she was like, talk to us, what are you doing?
To basically to understand each other.
Yes, especially if you are new in a situation and there are certain people who know each other, you feel as a stranger, you feel alienated, you don't know what to do. Even otherwise, if you're meeting somebody for the first time, or if you're meeting somebody with a purpose, if for example you're going on a sales call, right, you're a salesperson, you're meeting the CIO, a lot of people would come and meet you that way, Rachna. So nobody would come and straight away say, hey, I have this is why it will benefit you. There has to be some common talk. Because like Anand rightly pointed out, we are social creatures. And rather than the transaction of communications, it is the sociability of communications that matter. Do we like somebody? Do we like how they look? Do we like how they talk? Do we form an impression? In fact, there was a study which says that we make an impression of a person within 3 seconds of meeting them. And thereafter, the whole conversation is about validating that impression, or it takes a lot of effort on the part of the other person to change that impression. Small talk is wherein you build the bridge, as rightly said. Moving on with the meeting, a Toastmasters meeting has 3 parts. There are prepared speeches, there are table topics. Table topics are extemporaries, in which everybody can take part. Prepared speeches are only showcased by the members. And the third and the most important section of a meeting is the evaluation. So here, Rachna is not written in order. This is more of the role players' names that are written to assist the Toastmaster of the day and others to call upon the right people. I see some people looking left and right. If you cannot see me, please feel free to spread out your chairs and be comfortable. The room is absolutely yours. But let us ensure we don't block anybody else. Now, the evaluation is the most important section of a Toastmasters meeting because the purpose of a meeting, like a Sergeant at Arms pointed out in the beginning, is for us to all give evaluation in a Anand, can you repeat the mission, please? I've never been able to learn it by heart. And I was a Sergeant at Arms before him for 6 months. I always read it out.
I'm sure our club is to promote self-support and to develop communication and leadership skills to each other.
To promote a supportive environment.
environment.
Yes, and that is where the evaluation happens. Now for the evaluation, I would first like to invite on stage our general evaluator, Saurabh Kandra. He was my predecessor as the club, and he is the person which gets a smile on all of our faces. Anything goes wrong in the club, the AC is not working, anybody is feeling sad for any reason altogether, anybody has any problem whatsoever, he is the guy because he is that sorted. You just go to him and you feel so good vibes. Sir, may I please invite you on stage for your role as the general evaluator?
Wow, thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Lavina. How are you today? Yes, it is? Great. So thank you so much, first of all, for joining the club. Whatever you are looking, I believe that you'll definitely get it from here. That's because you are the best.
Something best happened.
Wonderful timing.
Something is
Done. No worries, it happens. This is a part of life. Without any incidents, we cannot recall the day. Isn't it? Yes. Great. So, general evaluation is the most sacrosanct part of this Toastmaster, as you know that. Because we are in a mature stage and we restrict ourselves. 35 plus, we restrict ourselves because we don't want feedbacks from a certain people only because we thought that in fear of losing something. If it is a professional life, we are not taking feedback from our seniors or subordinates because we are in a race of having promotions or salary increase or like that. So we don't have any environment where we are approaching ourselves and get that, not sugar candy, but the authentic feedback. That's why people recommended Toastmasters, and in search of Toastmasters, we join certain clubs. And trust me, you are in the best place. Because, not because of you, it's because of me, because you are going to help me to understand certain things that you have in your life. So, this general evaluation part is actually the most important, as because we evaluate the overall, and the duty is coming to me today. So I'm going to evaluate the overall standards of the meeting, the guest intention, whether they get the right approach or right environment. Apart from that, I have today two partners. One is basically the AHA counter. I request Toastmaster Niti to explain the role of our counter. Yes.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I am Niti Gupta and I am the AHA counter of the day. The purpose of my role is to count all the and ums that everyone will be using. I'll be counting those and I'll present my report at the end. Also, I'll be counting the filler words like how many of you uses so also. So I'll be counting those words. I'll present my report at the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Niti. So next, I would like to invite Toastmaster Miraj to explain the importance of one thing. That is time. Toastmaster Miraj.
Good afternoon, everyone. as you already know my name, Miraj Siddiqui. So I'm the timer of the day, and I'm responsible to keep a track of the time taken by various speakers and role players. Thank you. Typically, a prepared speech is timed for 5 to 7 minutes. I'll show the green card at 5 minutes, and yellow card at 6 minutes, and then the red card at 7 minutes. This is the red card. Okay. There is a grace period of 30 seconds on either side. I request speech evaluators to apprise me if the speech time is different from 5 to 7 minutes. For table topic, each speaker is required to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I'll show the green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. Okay. Table topics, the speakers have a grace period of 30 seconds on either side. Speech evaluators are allotted 2 to 3 minutes for evaluation. The green card will be shown at 2 minutes, the yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and the red card at 3 minutes. Again, there is a grace period on both the sides. Please note that as a timer, I will keep the cards up until the speaker stops speaking, unless otherwise instructed by the Toastmaster of the day. I will provide no signal, verbal or non-verbal, to indicate that your time is up. Any speaker who finishes before or after the grace period will not be considered. I will submit my report in the evaluation system. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Miraj. Last for the day. This is the most saddest part for me in my life because I don't like this. The grammar of the language. For that, I would like to invite Toastmaster Anand to explain his role. No, I like it.
So hello everyone, I'm back on stage again as a grammarian. I'm here to monitor the good usage and the bad usages of the language used by the speakers, and to introduce word and idiom of the day. The word is speaker. Speaker. That would be a synonym for a speaker, form of instrument. And the idiom is boil the ocean, which means taking up an almost impossible project. Members are requested to show a thumbs up when a speaker uses these words and idiom of the day in the speech or is talking. I'll share the noted details when the general evaluator calls for my report. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anand. So I recently came across to a two-line thing related to grammar. So there, when I was there in a community, so I heard that. Okay. Maybe you heard that, but still you can concentrate on the words. Okay. I dance, they dance, he dances. Why? Is he dances more than me? 645 people dance and he dances. Why? So this is the beauty of grammar in any language. So I would not take much of your time. Back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ravi.
I have a question.
Sure.
Anand, he said his word is speaker.
Speaker. So whenever you speak something, okay, you can use this word in your sentence. So I am always speaks loud. So I do not need a loudspeaker. So it's an impromptu part where instantly you have to add this word. And in your sentence also, the idiom of the day you can use, that is boiling the ocean. Boil the ocean. So they are means when we speak, you have this word of the day and idiom of the day throughout your week. So from Saturday to next Saturday, we change the word of the day and idiom of the day. This portion of your life, you can use the speaker and boil of the ocean in your daily life, so that your vocabulary will increase. Right? Great. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster Ravi.
Thank you,
Clap.
Mr. General Evaluator.
I did a great job.
I'm
sure Saurav, Anand, Neeti and a lot of other Toastmasters will agree that when we started our journey in the club, we felt that coming on stage and talking would be an exercise akin to boiling the ocean. And here we are today. We have taken a dip in that ocean. Still learning to swim somewhere. Okay, so we were talking about how to make small talk. So I need 2 volunteers for this piece, please. Quickly. Come on, Rachna. One more person. Ved, come on. Raise your hand, just don't look. Okay. So, Rachna, Ved, Rachna. Both of you have met for the first time. You have to make small talk. How do you start?
Hey Ved, how are you doing today?
We are strangers.
Oh yes, we are strangers, sorry. Is it necessary to be strangers or is it like you also know but you want to start with small?
No, I just wanted the initial part. I'm so sorry I missed it. Could you please repeat?
So,
You
is it
asked
for
to
us
be-
strangers? Are we strangers or do we know each
That
other?
is not important. You asked Ved how was he. Ved, how did you reply?
I'm good.
How's it going? What's keeping you up these days?
This is our studies, nothing else.
What in studies? What exactly are you
I'm studying for CDs.
for CDs? That's interesting.
CDs,
CDS. What's that?
Combined Defense Services.
Okay, and this will lead you to the defense services?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Where's the course? How long you have been doing that?
Actually, I'm preparing by myself for the exam, and for the interview process, I am taking help from joining Toastmaster and taking advice from my seniors.
Okay, so can somebody tell us what is happening here? Small talk is happening, yes. But how would you judge the balance of power in this conversation?
He was trying to interact more and more, and he was just, answering the question.
So it is very evident that the balance of power is there in the
Yes.
conversation rather than being balanced, right? Both of you can take your seats, please. Or in fact, stay back. I won't have to call somebody else. So when you're making small talk, it is 2 people who are meeting. So typically what you want is for both to get the maximum out of the conversation. What was happening is that Rachna asked a question. Ved answered, and there was a full stop. Right. Now Rachna followed it up with another question. Answer, again a stop. A third question and a stop. What is typically required to happen is that Ved gives an answer which forces Rachna to give an answer back or engage. Now can you think of something in response to how are you to give an answer that will force her to answer back? Okay, let me give a suggestion here. What I once read and I found to be quite effective is instead of saying I'm alright or I'm fine, which are the standard replies we've all grown up with, and these were replies which I hated with the passion when COVID was there. Like COVID came and we all lost somebody we knew. So I just felt that saying that I am alright was more about us putting on a mask, which was a mask which was responsible, which was required given the societal norms. What you could perhaps say is how you are feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. So you could perhaps say, I am a 7 on 10 today, or I am an 8 on 10, or a 9 on 10, or if you ask our ex-Mr. President, he will say, I'm a 10 on 10. We all know that. We are so happy for you. So you could perhaps say, I am a, whatever number you're feeling, I am a 7 on 10. And then you could ask her the same question. Would you like to do that? Rachna, can you start with asking Ved how is he today?
Hi Ved, how are you doing today?
I'm 7 by 10 today. How are you feeling today on a scale 1 to 10?
Well, I am.
You may not need to qualify the whole scale. You have already set the scale by saying you're a 7 on 10. So people generally take a cue from what you're saying to carry the conversation forward. So if you just ask her here, how about you or how are you feeling? Chances are she may also respond on a similar scale. And yeah, go on.
Well, I am feeling very great. Almost around 8 to 9 on 10 is what I'm feeling.
here you have a cue straight away on how to take the conversation forward. Rachna may have given a number on scale which was lower than that of Ved or higher on that of Ved. For example, if she would have said that she is a 6 on 10 and Ved had already said that he was an 8 on 10, his follow-up question can be, what can we do to take you from a 6 to 8? Or in case Rachna is at a number which is pegged higher than what Ved has stated, you stated 7, she stated 8 or 9. Your follow-up question can be, oh, that's wonderful. I wonder what I can do to become an 8 or 9 today. So when you express something, a want or a wish, the other person, the human psychology, especially people when it's been established that they are superior to you on a certain parameter on scale, they feel they want to help you out. She would herself venture an opinion. And that is where the conversation starts. How's that as an answer to how are you feeling today? Thank you so much, Rachna and Ved. We move forward to the first section of our meeting today, the prepared speeches. We have 3 speakers, and every speaker will be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. Sorry? The order is there on the board. We will not be changing it.
Starting from 3, then come to 1.
Any particular reason?
Yeah, I have right. I'm right.
Okay. Alright. So we start with the prepared speeches. First, we will have Miraj Siddiqui take the stage. For that, I would like to invite his evaluator, Anand Prakash, to share with us. I think we are in a bit of a kerfuffle today. Neeti is the evaluator. We have Neeti Gupta as evaluator for Miraj Siddiqui. Neeti, if I could please invite you on stage and share the objectives of Miraj Siddiqui.
I will request Miraj to come on stage with his objective time management. So Miraj, can you please come on stage?
Project name is time management. Speech is dual face of digital world.
So
Dual face of digital world.
dual phase of digital world.
Dual face of digital world, Miraj Siddiqui, dual face of digital world.
Again, good evening everyone. Today my topic is dual face of digital world. So you might be guessing, there is something related to digital thing he's going to speak on. But so let me ask you a question. Very interesting. How many days you can survive without food? Few days. And you can survive without water few hours, depending on person to person. Or let's say 1 or 2 days, right? Yes. See, we all can survive without food for 1 or 2 days, and without water for few hours maybe, or a day, especially few hours in this season. But here's the magical thing, without which you cannot live even without an hour. Exactly. You're right. It's a mobile phone. So it's a shiny little device that is in your pocket, which can help you to get the world's knowledge. Which can help you to get the knowledge about the world, which can help you to connect to the world, which can help you to entertain you, which can help you. You name anything, and it is a device which can help you in all the area. I hope you can imagine, let's say if your phone is misplaced or lost, immediately you become CID officer and you are retracing your steps just to find this gadget. Entire information, entire everything is loaded in this particular gadget, which is just a pocket-sized piece. gone are those days when we used to write letters and it took few days to reach to the person, and now today we are in the era wherein you can connect to any person just by clicking on a button and the video is switched on. You can write a message and the message will be delivered to any part of the world within a second. You can connect with the world, you can entertain yourself, and okay, so now these are the like pros. Obviously, like we know that how we can utilize this gadget to entertain ourselves, to educate ourselves. But then cons of this thing, it also impacts your health, your mental well-being. Let's say two persons are sitting in a park and they are talking to each other. One person is sitting here on a table with no energy, and the second person is reaching out to him or her saying, what happens? Why are you so dull? Why are you not feeling happy? What is happening with you? So what he's saying that, oh, I don't know what what is in me, why I'm not feeling happy, but then like I have no issues, I am not ill, but still I'm not feeling happy. I don't know why I'm feeling mentally ill. So the second person will ask, why? Are you doing anything different? So the person will say, no, I think all the time I'm using either laptop or mobile phone and I'm not conversing with any people. So the person will say, so I think this is the impact of mobile phone. If you take out your time, talk to the people around yourself, build healthy relationship, so you can be mentally fit. And so obviously, like we all should take out some time, do exercise and go out, build relationship, talk to your friends instead of engrossing all your time into this particular gadget. So I guess this is all about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Miraj. Saurabh, are you ready or will take more time?
No.
You ready? So the next speech we have is by our ex-Mr. President and our current Mr. VP membership, Saurabh Kandra. I am the speech evaluator for Saurabh, and Saurabh will be delivering his level 3, speech 5, the electivist projects. Your pathway. The pathways dynamic leadership. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice writing a speech with an emphasis on adding language to increase interest and impact. As the evaluator, I will be listening for descriptive words and literary elements such as the plot and setting. The speaker is to tell the story in a telling format, even in an informational speech. And as the evaluator, I have to make note of whether I am engaged and I am interested. A train journey, Saurabh Kandra, a train journey.
PM, 26 September 2006. I was outside the Howrah railway station, light a cigarette and asking for a cup of tea from the local stall. I took my first puff and a sip of that tea. Suddenly, I listened. A sweet and innocent voice. Time, please. I was stuck. Again, that sweet voice came to me. Time, please. I was just like holding the cup of the tea. Oh, 3:30. Anybody in this room ever thought of a cute girl in your train journey? Ever? Can show me your hands. Not for the girls, for the boys in the room. We always, yes, all the boys are like that. Whenever they tried a train journey, they always think that if there will be a sweet, innocent face near to me, then the journey will be the most perfect. And that 26 September 2006, that happened to me. I was going back from Kolkata to my native town, Purulia. It is the Durga Puja season. And as we know that, as a Bengali, we are having that dopamine rush in our body because of this Durga Puja season. So it is that this is the last train 445 Purulia Express starting from Howrah to Purulia with overcrowded people, the hawkers, the Delhi passengers, and as you already came to know that my style of interacting with people, so I am the most weighted person towards my friends, the hawkers. Okay, so I always have that chair empty for me whenever I am traveling back from Kolkata to Purulia. So the train started, and during those days we don't have any sort of instructions or limitations of lighting any sort of cigarette inside the train compartment, and people are not offended during that time also. The train started, and the overcrowded train, actually we have all this sounds and speaking parts with each and every one, and I came to know that girl not having that seat which she is looking for during that time. So we, the boys, are always like that. Okay, so I took the doorside space, light a cigarette, and started enjoying the wind passing by because of the train movement. Okay, suddenly I listened that voice again. Could you please throw that cigarette out? I stared at her and said, no. Why? If you are not comfortable, please change your space. The incident stopped. The journey happened, and this took around 5 years from Howrah station to Purulia to reach that train. And more we are closer to Purulia, the crowd were lighter, and we have more space. And after Adra Junction, it is just 45 minutes from Purulia. So most of the crowd were leave the compartment, and we are hardly 4 to 5 people in the compartment, and it is almost 9:30 p.m. and we are actually 5 people inside the compartment, and including that lady. Okay, we saw that. Sorry, my bad. I saw that the 2 small kids actually using bad words and laughing near to her. Okay. I reached to her, sat just in front of that bench, and just stared to those boys. The boys were felt uncomfortable, and seeing my angry eyes, they thought that it is not good to interact with this person, as because I am bit overweight than them. I was always 101, 102, 103 kg. Well, so they thought to leave the compartment. It is now me and that girl in that entire compartment. I also felt uncomfortable, yes, because you can understand that. I have not started discussing anything, but I listened one voice again, that sweet voice, and I replied, for what? No, the way you said me, that is great. But again, I'm telling you, cigarette smoking is bad for your health. Should quit. I thought that helping girls is always like that only. You cannot satisfy anyone in this earth. So I told her that, okay, I try to quit it, but not now. And I leave the space, and I again went back to the train window and lighted a cigarette. Okay, the final station came just before the Purulia station, when she dropped down from that train, she just handed over a nap to me and saying that just swipe your this whatever sweating because you are a bit uncomfortable now, and she just waving her hand and went off to the dark. So as soon as Purulia station came, I came out from the compartment and trying to throw that napkin. Okay, suddenly I saw that a phone number is written in. So this is actually a perfect train journey for every boy, and today she is my wife. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It was a life journey into nature.
Power cut.
I invite the third speaker of the day, Anand Prakash. Before the same, I would like to invite Anand's evaluator for today, Miraj Siddiqui. Miraj is also the timer, so Saurav, could I please request you to take the time?
Good evening, everyone, again. So Anand's speech object, his level is level 2, speech 2, and agenda would be body language and tone of voice. Topic is fishing. Yes, Anand, so please.
Fishing, Anand Prakash, fishing.
Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, I'm back on stage again with my topic, which is fishing. It's not that fishing. Fishing here is PHISHING, which is a new term of cybercrime. Phishing is a cybercrime where scammers use phone calls, SMSs, and emails to deceive people to grab their information. They use these modes and they call you. Suppose they are calling you and they say, hello sir, I'm calling from your bank and your policy is going to renew next year. I need some more details of yours. So that's a scammer. You need to sense who is the right source or not. And for example, I almost every day get emails from my bank which says that we have a special offer for you. We have a special credit card offer for you, full rewards, lifetime free, cashback, and blah blah blah. And email also says, grab this home loan, buy your dream bike, buy your dream gadgets. And I was like, dream gadgets? Oh hello, I don't see gadgets in my dreams. I see good dreams. I see dreams like as if I'm watching a Hollywood movie. But back to my topic. So a few days back, I got one call. So as soon as I got a call, he said, hello sir, I'm calling from your bank and I'm here to help you with the bank's app in your mobile phone to log in and let you know all its features. And I got fears inside. I sensed that it's a phishing attempt. But trust me guys, to some extent, I am a civilized person. So I don't hang up the call immediately. I stayed calm and I said, boss, I already know all its features and your help is not needed. Thank you. But he said, sir, it's a good app. We have added new features in it. Please log into the app. Do you notice the main focus was on login? He wanted me to log in on the app. That's how they steal your information. But I was still calm. I said, okay boss, listen, I'm busy right now. Can you please call me later? He said, okay sir. And I finally got Mukti, Nirvana and Liberation all together after cutting the call. So we need to stay aware. We need to not believe on any call and SMS or emails so easily. There are people out there trying their best to steal your information, which they can use to cause you harm, steal your identity, and cause you financial loss. they are trying their best to loot your hard-earned money. So we need to check twice and thrice and make sure that we are not clicking any URL or downloading any apps from unknown sources, because this world is full of deceiving people. Nowadays they are growing. Few years back they used to call in Hindi only, but nowadays they are using fluent English when they call you. As the slogan goes, मेरा देश बदल रहा है, आगे बढ़ रहा है, so they are using English now. So just stay alert and think before you.
Thank you, Anand. That brings us to the end of our first section, which is the prepared speeches. What are some common topics you guys adopt when trying to make small talk? What do you talk about? Weather. Weather. How are you? What do you like to do in free time? And sports, cricket, movies, storybooks. Okay. But would you talk about storybooks to a stranger? You don't even know whether they read. Not to a stranger, but cricket and movies are quite common topics, and they are there in India, very pervasive. And cricket, movies, weather are there in the hourly updates of every news channel probably. I read an HBR article. It recommended to steer clear of hourly updates. Anything you would get in the news on an hourly basis. A crash that happened, some law and order situation that happened, weather, movies, cricket. To each their own. I'm not saying follow this, I'm just sharing something which I came across, which I've practiced and which made sense to me. Because what happens when you talk about the weather, the person in front of you knows that you are making small talk for the sake of it. Your purpose in talking to somebody is to grab their attention, to build a connect, which we established at the start of the meeting, to have a common platform, which may, and a lot of times interactions are driven by an objective, by a sense of achieving a particular objective. The objective may be as simple as talking to the person for 2 minutes and learning from them because you hold that person at a pedestal. When it's a work setting, the objective may be to get a work done, it may be to network, it may be a sales call, which our Mr. Ex-President is a very celebrated salesperson. So when I mentioned sales call, his ears popped right up. So whenever you're going in for a conversation, it may be with an objective more often than not. And when you start making small talk, and it is evident to the person in front that you're making small talk, doesn't it defeat the objective? We know we are making small talk, right? And we are doing that with an objective to have the person interested in us to give us their time so that we can get to the main topic. However, if we bore them right in the beginning, there are more chances of them saying, "Excuse me," and going away. So what do we do? What do we replace these hourly updates with?
We talk about something like spontaneous, like contextual. If let's say a person is dressed in a particular manner, if like you meet someone at a coffee shop and she comes there every day, so just say something like, "Oh, you come here every day," and like not like pre-planned stuff, let's say about the weather, but something which is in the moment.
Thank you, Vikrant. That's quite spot on. Probably don't talk to a woman about how she's dressed, especially if you are male. That can have some not so pleasant consequences. However, yes, look at the surroundings, look at the context, and derive a common theme from there. If somebody comes to a coffee shop, or if you've met somebody at a coffee shop, you can simply ask their recommendation. How is the cinnamon cappuccino? Would you recommend it? Or how is the vanilla frappuccino? For example, if you are meeting people in the Toastmasters meeting, that's a common platform. Why are you here? Have you been to a Toastmasters meeting before? How do they happen? Or it may also be a derivation of the environment. For example, Saurav and his now wife smoking is bad for health. She observed he was smoking. That's an icebreaker. That's a small talk, which led to number getting exchanged to find a common topic. More often than not, it is your surroundings. Like Vikrant pointed it out, we seldom meet people in art galleries these days. Otherwise, the article mentioned if there's somebody staring at a painting, you just go and stand next to them and make an observation. The painter tried to depict turbulence in the orange of the water. I did try going to an art gallery, didn't really find anything. We now move to the second section of the meeting, which is the table topics. Table topics are extemporaries. Our table topic master will invite people on stage, give a topic, and you will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about it. You can take a grace period of 30 seconds in the beginning to think about the topic before you value it. I am your table topic evaluator. I will be evaluating all of you on enthusiasm, relevance to the topic, though you are free to interpret the topic however you may wish. Enthusiasm, relevance, and just going for it. Inviting our table topic master on stage, Saurav Kandra. Sorry, before that, I would request the Sergeant at Arms to share the voting slips across and everybody to vote for the best speaker out of the three. Mr. Timer Manoj Siddiqui, did all the speakers qualify? Only Saurav qualified. What about you, Miraj?
So I took 421 seconds.
So the voting is de facto. We do not need to vote for the best speaker. We move on to the table topics. Saurav, please.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Lavina. Welcome back. Okay, this is the most interesting part in any Toastmaster session. Okay, here you can select, elect, and participate in any of the topic you would like to. Okay, you will get 2 to 2.5 minutes. Okay, 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute I am not talking about because we are all here to speak. Okay, so you will get 2 minutes of the maximum time, 30 seconds over and above. Okay, no disqualification, because if you are not speaking up to 1 minute, you are disqualified, because that we are living for the time. But anyone, can you just say loudly the word of the day? Speaker. If you are going to use it, yes, definitely. Then we will give you a thumbs up. Okay, and the idiom of the day is boil the ocean. So try to use that. Okay. So who's going to volunteer first? Anyone? Yes. Yes, ma'am. You please. Toastmaster first, Niti. Come. You settle down there. First, you are taking Niti, then sit here. Okay, Niti, your topic is: have you ever regretted something you did not say or do? Have you ever regretted something you did not say or do? Niti. Have you ever regretted something you did not say?
Not sir.
You never regretted, I know. Please.
So I'll talk about like what I regretted about. Like last day, I was teaching my daughter. I have 2 daughters. One in 6th and the other one is in 1st standard. So I was teaching them because they have their exam on Monday. And the younger one was disturbing the elder one. I was trying to make her study. As you know, these days kids don't want to study. But I was making her study. So she was coming and poking her again and again. I am a bit of I am an impatient person. So I was trying to calm down myself and was saying her again and again that don't disturb Didi. Why are you disturbing her? She is having her exam and you too. Why don't you go and study? But she was not stopping, and I slapped her. Like, not once but twice. So after that, I felt very bad. Like, I must have been a little calm. Like, being a mother, I should be more humble. Why I am slapping my 5-year daughter? I must have handled it much properly. So that's the thing I regretted. So that is the incident that happened yesterday only. So thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. You did a great job. Thank you so much. Don't spare the rod and spoil the child. Sometimes slapping actually works. Who's next? Yes, ma'am. Please join us. You understood the structure? What could society do without?
Sorry, what's the topic?
What could society do without you?
I think anything, everybody is capable, so I don't feel there will be any hinder if I'll not be there.
No, don't talk to me, talk to
So
everyone.
I think people can do anything. I don't feel myself so much important that society can't do without me anything. So they can do, I think. So I have to make something of that. I have to
Think
increase
that
the
your
life.
family is your society.
In family, actually, thoughts like that is not coming to me because I really feel that everybody can do anything. I'm not so important. People can do things.
Great. Thank you so much. Yes. Anyone, any volunteer? Yes, please.
Next time you can.
Pratibha, timer, how much time we have? What life lessons did you have to experience firsthand before you fully understood them? What life lessons did you have to experience firsthand before you fully understood them?
Okay. What life lessons did I have firsthand before I fully understood them? It's a rather long, lengthy topic. But, well, I'll talk about one life lesson that I've had, right? And that really has been about failure. If I were to tell my younger self, if there's one thing I would change in my past, I think I would tell myself to befriend failure. Because failure is something we never really, as a society, we always look towards success, 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 victory, victory, victory. But we forget that when we grow up, it is failure. We will have to see a lot of failure before we really, go and achieve something. And so we need to befriend failure. And that has been one of my biggest life lessons. I wish I could tell my younger self, for example, to participate in sports. Because I think sports is something I ran away from all my life. But I've realized it's a brilliant field where you get a chance to lose every day. Right? You get a chance to also win every day. No sports person is a winner throughout or a loser throughout. Even if you are a loser, there are some life lessons and you'll move on to something that you would be better at. But you get so used to failure that it doesn't intimidate you when you grow up. Because once we grow up, maybe having failed earlier on in life, things can become very difficult. We let failure get the best or the worst of us, and then by then our ego is so large that one failure can really intimidate us. So my life lesson would be to fail earlier on in life, to be an average student rather than being a topper, because again, it's always the ones who are average students that really find life to be the easiest to sail through. So I haven't boiled the ocean, but I just wanted to ensure I use it somewhere, right? So well, defeat failure and life will be easy and you'll have your victories. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pratibha, I believe.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Who's next? Please volunteer. That's why you are here. Yes, yes. Boy, please come. Okay, other than money, what else have you gained from your current job?
Other than money, what I have got from my current job.
Your good name?
Ajay.
Ajay. Yes.
Well, again, I'm a classroom teacher, basically. So here's the question, like, other than money, what I have received. I often have this question in my mind, like, what did I receive when I look back at my, like, 10 years? Do you know what I see? It's a lot of fun, a lot of enjoy, and a lot of, great compliments for me, what I have, the work I have done. That's what actually I have seen, rather than money. I think it's a big thing for, not for me, and apart from of course we understand the money is the biggest part, of course, in the life, but there is something that everybody is looking after money, is the more appreciation, is the great compliments about the work, it's the great respect that the work that you do, or make sure the work that you do is meaningful. That's what I have received in the last 10 years of my journey. And I'm sure this is something that you wake up in the morning for. The work you do, that when it becomes more meaningful for you, and when it becomes you get the more appreciation for the work, and somewhere you make a dent in the world through your work. That's more important, okay? Once when you get it, you actually become, something that you are doing that becomes more fulfilling and more meaningful. That's what, that we are made here for. And this is something that I received in my life apart from the money. I'm sure that all of you are looking for the same answer in your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ajay. Who's next? Lavina. Very simple topic. Who?
Request you to do the
Yours?
language.
Okay, I will do that. Great. Favorite destination, sea or mountain?
I've always been a beach baby. I was born by the beach, so to say. My maternal grandmother, my Nani ji, lived in Juhu in Mumbai, so that's where I was born. I was born by the beach, and I've loved the beach. Had you asked me this question pre-pandemic, it would have been a very straightforward answer: the beach. Even today, my favorite holiday destination is my Nani ji's home. I can go there, and I go to the beach every morning. I go to the beach every evening, and in between, I'm just pampered by her. And I don't need anything else in life. I feel that when I'm there. So I would have said the beach. And I have seen quite a few beaches in the world. You talk about beaches in India, Mumbai, Goa, Chennai, a lot of them. I've seen beaches in Italy, France, Nice, Maldives, Dubai. They do have a beach for anybody who's thinking they do, yes. So I've seen quite a bit of them. However, now I feel that beaches are increasingly polluted. You see this AQI index, especially in Delhi, going into the 3 figures. And when I now plan a holiday, I feel like escaping to a place where my lungs can have a breather. So lately I've started preferring mountains to beaches. My last holiday was to Nainital, and that was at the New Year's, when the temperature there was a negative 10 degrees. So fortunately there was not a lot of crowd, and I was saved to quite some extent from the pollution, which was the objective there. So So I went to Nainital and I had the stillness all around me. The mountains are big, imposing structures, and they provided a sense of stillness. And in that stillness is where I thought I could hear myself speak. So today I'll say that I prefer the mountains to the beaches. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lavina. Any mountain girls or boys here? Mountain lovers?
Yeah,
No?
I am kind of.
Kind of?
Kind of.
Then you like more than love. Okay. It is just like I like you, but I don't love you.
I don't have.
So that actually concludes. I don't have any volunteers. You want to volunteer?
He raised his hand.
You raised your hand? You want to volunteer? No? Yes? Confused?
No,
Okay.
we can't
You want to
even
volunteer, please? Yes, yes.
Oh, I thought everybody got a chance to speak.
Everybody would have their time. But we can have one
Very great. You said that you are a directing, means you are holding some director post in your institutions or office. Okay. So any management strategies you want to share in coming 2 minutes? That helps
Management
us.
strategy. Wow. Well, so talking about management strategy, I think I'm myself learning currently, right, how to manage big teams. But few of the aspects that I really want you to know about them is, one is honesty. Be very transparent with whosoever you are speaking. People try to put things under the carpet to kind of show the watermelon effect, which is it's green on the top but red in inside. So try not to do that. Try to be honest. Try to accept for your mistakes that you have done. And because the acceptance to the first mistake, the acceptance is the first step towards improvement. Only if you do not accept it, you will never be able to improve. If you get defensive, that's the first barrier that you're creating for yourself. That is what I would say. That's first is the honesty. Second is be active listener for your associates who are kind of running and wanting to seek help. They look up to the management to kind of seek help towards, and it is very, very important to actively listen from your associates. Stay grounded. Stay grounded with the associates on the floor and not only the leaders, because some of the managers are really in their air and they do not really want to kind of get onto the floor. It's kind of having a floor dance versus looking from a balcony. You have to kind of switch between both at times. You have to be on floor to understand the situation well. You have to come out of the floor and look from balcony whenever you have to look at a holistic situation and make the strategies that what's going wrong and what needs to be corrected. So again, not boiling the ocean here. There is ample of strategies that we have, but these are very, very few that I'm trying to kind of recommend. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, Madam Guest Rachna. I thought that you are going to tell us how to read between the lines when you are there in that position and we are there in this position. Okay, anyone else? Yes? You, both of you, yes. We have tea ready if anyone want to, we'll talk later. Are self-driving cars the future? Are self-driving cars the future?
Self-driving cars. Okay. That would be problem.
Thank you so much. I know that.
So, good evening everyone. I am Chitranjan Sharma. So, self-driving car is the future. You know, in the modernization of 21st century, I don't think so. Yes, it may be kind of some Western countries, but country like India, I don't feel so. Because you cannot level down the importance of human. See, many in the world modernization happened, many Western countries have developed as well as India have developed, but we cannot ignore the importance of man. We cannot like humans. So I don't feel so that car driving is kind of, I don't see, but like you can take as a backup, kind of. That's it. I'm not getting the points.
Great. Thank you so much. Please settle down.
Yes.
Next, Vikrant. Okay. Yes. Let's see. How would you describe freedom in your own words? How would you describe freedom in your own words?
Okay, so yeah, I'll start. So I feel we can look at freedom from different points of view. You could be, so versus, let's say, the shackles you face could be external shackles, where, let's say, the government hasn't given you enough freedom of speech. For example, women aren't allowed to, let's say society, it's a patriarchal society, women aren't encouraged to work, stuff like that. It could be freedom from that. But there's another sort of freedom which I feel for me is pretty relevant, which is freedom from your own thoughts. So often we get, let's say, stressed out about things, and these stresses are irrational. A lot of them are. Sometimes we may get extremely angry and impulsive. And when those thoughts dominate us and influence our behavior, then we don't put our best foot forward. So I feel you need to have a loudspeaker in your mind which guides you and is sort of a guide which is rational and guides you as to what the reality is of a situation and what is not. And once you have that in place, and in Buddhism you term this concept as the impartial spectator. So there's a spectator in your, like a very, I can't come up with a better word, but an impartial spectator who helps you to separate emotions from reality and who guides you through life. So if you're free from your thoughts by using such so-called psychological techniques, then I feel you can have a more wholesome life and enjoy your life.
Great, thank you so much. That concludes this most fun, loving, engaging session of table topics. So back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Lavina. And
thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. Can we quickly, I'll request the Sergeant at Arms to pass along the voting ballot. That's already passed. Where's mine? So I'll request all of you to vote on line item number 5, which is the best table topic speaker. So the voting will be among Toastmaster Neeti. I'll request, when I call out your name, please stand up so that people know who it is we are talking about. Toastmaster Neeti. Guess Swati. Swati is the one in the back in the white, in the lovely white and black suit. We have DTM Pratibha. Then we have Ajay Prajapati. Ajay is the one in white. Then it was myself, Lavina. We had Rachna, the lovely lady in pink. We had guest Chitranjan, and we had Vikrant. We had 8 speakers. Please quickly vote. We'll take 5 seconds to do that. It is 4:41 now. We will take a 10-minute tea break. We have tea and
Some snacks.
tea and some snacks for all of you. Please. And we will gather here again at 4:52 after 11 minutes.
you can have the tea inside the room only.
Yeah, you can have the tea inside the room. There was a spark after raising on now.
Anand, it's a pause.
So Where do we Sunandhi?
Keep the other line. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you are all refreshed from the break. So we spoke about how to start a small talk. We spoke about what topics we can cover in a small talk. Now, how do you do a small talk? You may have the content, but what is also important is how you present that content. Not just the content, but how you speak is extremely important. So for this next part of the exercise, I will request you to be divided into two groups. So probably the people sitting on the right and the people sitting on the left. So I will request Saurabh to lead one group. And here, what we are going to do is, one group stays back here with me. The other group goes back with Saurabh to the ground floor. And we are, yes, ground floor. You have to be out of hearing range. It's not that bad.
So we can
cross
use
that while
we can
coming
use the
and
other
going.
room also. Other room also.
If it's empty, you can. But then if you go to a room, you will be switching on the AC, then the fans and the lights, and that'll take some time. It's a very small 2-minute exercise. So what we are going to do here, we will initiate a telephone call. And the exercise is to note, for Saurabh's team to note, how many times were the people on this end of the phone smiling. What we are seeking to establish is that what you convey, the other person comes to know, even if it's through a phone call. We sometimes believe that if we are in a phone call and we are extremely angry with the person, we are able to modulate our tones. That is not so. People can hear. The hypothesis we are going to try to establish is that people can hear when you smile on the phone. And that has repercussions, right? If somebody hears you smiling, smiling is infectious. Their mood becomes better and the conversation becomes better. So who are the people with Saurabh? People on this side of the room. Saurabh, Chitranjan, Pratibha, Ved and Ajay? Manish, sorry. Go on. Pratibha does not want to move. We'll request Vikrant to move. Yeah. Go. I'm calling your number, Saurabh. So you will, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people will be talking in turn. So 6 people will be talking in turn. What you have to note down is which of these were smiling and which of these were not smiling. And if you would like to go a step ahead, you have to note down what emotions do you decipher. There might be somebody who might be extremely angry also. Hey, idhar nahi, you will be able to hear my voice. Neeche jao. Oh, come on. Sir, I can hear you from there. You will be able to hear me from here. No. Our ex-president is lazy. Yeah, I'm going inside. Anand, just say anything.
Neeti, Navina, Mahesh sir.
I knew he was saying something, but I couldn't make out the content. So his hypothesis stands. Now, who of you has a phone with a good speaker? I do. Let us come towards this end of the room so that we are on camera. Get your chairs along. बैठना जिसकी मर्जी, whoever wants to stand and burn some calories, it's their call. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to call Saurabh, and we were 6, right? Excluding me. We still are 6. Excluding me. So we will have all of you go in turn, and I will ask you to embody an emotion when you speak. It can be, so the script will be very simple. It will be, hi Saurabh, how are you? That's all you have to speak, nothing else. So you will have to mute the phone when I am you starting. So we will start with Anand. Anand, while you say hi Saurabh, how are you? You have to smile while saying it. Can you practice how you will do it?
I'll do it right away.
No, we will practice one round before we do it.
Hi Saurav, how are you today?
Yes. Now you are Ajay. Ajay, you have to depict anger. You just have to think that you are extremely angry with Saurabh for some reason. And you just have to say, well, you don't have to tell him that you are angry and try not to make your tone full of anger. But you have to remember that you are extremely angry. So now, Miraj, what emotion would you like to depict? I'm thinking some suggestions. Yes, so you have to think very sad because for some reason something will happen. So you again have to say that hi for Rachna, you will be neutral. You are not thinking of any emotion. You just be extremely professional while you're talking. And Pratibha, you will smile when you are saying hi for
Yeah, happy to be
excited, yeah. No, not excited, just smile. He's a stranger to all of us. We don't know him. We are calling him the role that we are depicting, but we are calling him to request an appointment. So it's, if you want to take the conversation a bit forward, one of the sentences, you can say, hi Saurabh, how are you? I am XYZ calling you for an appointment. That is it. That's it. Okay? So Anand, we'll start with you. Everybody remember their emotions? Smile.
Yeah. But I don't want to show, right?
Yes. Smile, anger, sad.
Are you calling right now? Or
Not now.
are you trying that? Okay.
He's calling. Smile, anger, sad, neutral, smile.
calling you. Hi Saurav, how are you today?
I hope you're well. I hope you're well.
You have to say the same thing. Hi, Saurabh, how are you?
Hi Saurabh, how are you?
नाम ही बता दो.
Hi Saurabh, this is me Miraj. How are you? Yeah.
Hi Saurabh, this is Rachna. I need an appointment. When can I book that for?
Hi Saurabh, how are you?
I'm great. What about you, ma'am?
I'm okay.
You Saurabh, please get your team back into the room.
Yes, yes.
Who is speaking over me? Please ask down.
My team was confused.
Your team were confused. Why? So
Not
what?
able to understand what happened.
Okay, so what? So we had 5 different people speak to you, and they were speaking to you in different emotions. So you just have to identify what was the emotion or what you felt when you were talking with them. So the first person to speak to you was
I thought
Anand.
that my team has to observe me.
No. Do you want to do the exercise again or you can still do it? Pratibha has like closed this door. Too much effort. Okay, so the first to speak was Anand. What did you feel when you were hearing him speak?
Tell. You can have to tell.
Emotion.
Very cool.
Because you did not understand the exercise or you thought he was confused?
Yeah, I thought his tone was like confused.
His tone was confused. Okay. No, so it is not a test on who spoke first. Anand
You have
spoke
to tell the
first,
emotional part.
but you have to tell what emotions did you feel.
Anand was confused. Tensed.
That may well be because we are none of us professional actors. So confusion or a tense state of mind may come about when we are asked in the picture.
The lady who asked for the appointment?
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit like displeased, a bit annoyed.
No, kind of, like, he is very in dire need of something wrong about, kind of.
Like desperate. Annoyed or desperate. Okay.
The problem is that in times of these sessions, people look like in a hurry, means they have just in a fast,
Everyone talk only 2-3 seconds. We can't give the.
You have to extend the time actually.
Not really. I mean, if you read The Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, I mean, it's not really required to decipher emotions. Second, Ajay spoke. So the second person, do you remember?
Viras.
No, second was Ajay. But do you remember the tone? Yeah, okay.
I think we need to read it.
Yes. So what you guys need to do is that when somebody speaks to you, take a moment there to discuss among yourself and note down the emotion that you're feeling. And then tell us that you're ready for the next person. Okay?
But the problem is that we don't aware. I don't know exactly.
But who is saying you don't know
That
now?
is irrelevant. That's so we will have person one speak to you. The
I will not pick up the phone now. The number is not saved to me. Why should I pick up the phone?
Saurabh, we are running out of time.
Okay, great.
So a person will speak to you, they will only say hi, how are you? That is the extent of the exercise. They don't need to speak a novel to you or they don't need to elaborate. After they speak that, you have to take a moment as a group to discuss amongst yourself what is the emotion that you feel coming from the
Did you
person.
say the name, na?
Name is irrelevant.
Just the emotion.
The
Was he
It's a
angry,
landline. It's a
sad?
landline without any caller ID.
But if you feel, because when you know the name, then biases come in. Because you know a certain person versus you do not know a certain person.
So we will call the other person when person.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Chalo.
But
Let's start
the
again.
other side must be, kind of say while saying something, he or she must be show something emotions, kind of. He must be.
So the purpose of the exercise is to establish that when we are speaking over the phone, even though the person on the other end does not know us, cannot see our body language, emotions that we are feeling at the moment get relayed.
Understanding the voice, I think. The
Yes.
voice tone.
Voice tone, warmth of the voice. Raj Kumar could be ready for that voice. Come on, quickly.
No, first.
We'll follow the same order. Anand and Ajay and Raj, Rachna and Pratika. You all remember your emotions. Yeah, Saurabh, I'm just handing the phone to person one.
Hi Saurabh, how are you?
Okay, now Saurabh, take a moment among your team to decipher the emotions. Calling auntie as. I think he's
Speak up.
engaged, right? He's trying to call us back.
Girl को phone से करो.
I'll have him call you. Let me go in there.
This game is a bit confusing because not everyone is able to understand the emotion.
Right, start from first again. Start from first again, dial, and the first one is. That's okay. It's human nature.
We need to become, as speakers and as listeners, more attentive to emotion, more mindful.
Hi Saurabh, how are you? Person 2.
Hi Saurabh, how are you?
क्या हो रहा है?
Review observe कर रहे हो.
भाई
ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हैं तो काट देंगे।
एक ही बार पकड़ना है सबको ना।
God, they're having like a full discussion. Now wait, no.
I think this.
I think this. I think this. No. But the way the person said hi. No, he didn't say hi. He said hi. No, he didn't say hi. He said hi.
This may continue maybe for the 10 minutes. Maybe there's a one question. Hi Saurabh, how are you?
Oh my God.
They are too much. They want to go too deep, inside the ocean and to take out the pulse of emotions. But I believe girls are good in conveying emotions.
Nothing like that.
No, it's
Yeah.
not like that.
No.
It is the modulation of the tone, how you kind of modulate the tone. I think that's very important.
Thank you.
Just lazy.
Good.
I have to get some help. Then let them guess.
That's okay. Everyone has a different way of conveying emotions also.
It's your second meeting at the test, right?
Yeah, the first time was last year.
Winters. With a
Hi,
cap.
how are you doing?
Not with that.
Your turn.
Hi Saurabh, how are you?
No, not yet.
If you have 3 speakers, so many speeches, you don't get that such an exercise.
Here you go, Pratibha.
Hi Saurabh, how are you? Hi Saurabh, how are you?
Such a great exercise to do in free time. To waste time.
What else is left? Evaluation.
अभी कोई evaluation is left now.
20 minutes.
That will be another 20 minutes.
And then you will distribute certificates.
Oh, is it?
Okay, speaker evaluations. Am I not getting late?
He's getting invitation.
Yeah. He's adding to that thing. Are you not getting late?
I'm asking like, I think you are getting late.
Yeah.
He's saying, I think so.
I didn't hear that. What he said?
Okay, I will request one representative from the group to come on stage and share.
So Vikrant and Chandrasekhar. Chandrakanta.
Chandrasekhar.
Chittaranjan.
It's Chan-
Vikrant and Chittaranjan will represent. Go. Go on stage. Go.
Yeah.
Both of us?
Yeah, go both of you.
And 5 can also come, that's no hard and fast. Okay, for the first person, what were the emotions that you felt?
Yeah, like kind of enthusiastic, energetic, and kind of happy little bit, you can say.
And
But
first,
energetic is more, kind of.
and
Yes.
the first person, what were the emotions that you were
Happy.
depicting?
Happiness.
That was one-on-one.
Conveyed.
Yeah, one-on-one. Now the second person,
So in a hurry, aggressive,
and kind of little bit sad.
who was the second person, and what was the emotion? Angry. So angry and aggressive.
Kind of little bit sad, you are not
He
interested.
didn't want to be angry. He's very happy today. To want to. Now the third person.
Third person, sleepy, kind of lonely. कोई अकेला छोड़ के चला गया उसको बेचारे को और थोड़ा बहुत kind of sad. It might be sad.
Sad was the emotion. Now
Who left
person
you?
4.
okay,
Who left
person
you?
4 was formal
Formal.
and annoyed.
Bingo for formal.
Formal,
It was
exactly.
more professional.
Professionally wanted something, appointment.
This time I didn't seek for an appointment.
That's a 4 on 4, person 5.
5-1, like I feel my group member felt that she is not interested, but I feel that she is interested. That is why she called Saurabh. How are you, Saurabh? I feel.
I called her.
Sorry, you called her. But the way she replied, I
Okay,
feel that,
she was waiting for my
The
call.
way
Okay, so
she
there was
replied,
an interest which
Could
was
you,
felt.
could you?
yeah, I feel that she is interested to meet in coffee shop kind of. Like,
You are,
My God, when did this happen?
you are,
So 4 or 5 is still a pretty good
you
score.
are, you are under the
And-
influence of some suspense, I can see.
And what was the
What was
emotion
your-
that you were depicting?
but my group member like kind of not interested.
Not
Kind of.
So some people said,
No, it's not.
It's not
Not
interested.
Okay, not interested
Just
to
you don't
speak.
take it seriously.
Not interested to pick the call. Sometimes what happened during this tea break, we thought that no
spam
phone
calls.
was.
It was a spam call.
So this is kind of thing. Means I called you and you are not interested to speak. Since you
not
pick up the
interested to
phone
Yeah.
and you say how is that.
So half of us felt you were
So it is
interested,
not a
and
reflection
half
on
of
the
us
score.
felt
No,
you
I'm
were not
not
interested.
seeing the reflection.
Just
That's
chill,
the
chill,
point.
chill. Don't take it seriously.
right, so while the emotion that was meant to be depicted was a smile. So we have a 4 on 5, guys, which is a pretty good score. Thank you so much, Vikram. Thank you, Ranjan.
The fifth one was a smile.
Smile.
Okay.
So
fifth
the
one.
hypothesis is proven, the emotions that we feel or we are thinking at the back of our mind when we are talking on the phone, they get relayed to the people we are talking to at least 4 out of 5 times. Keep that in mind when you make your conversation and the talks. We move on to the last section of the meeting, which is the evaluation. I invite our general evaluator, Saurav Kandra, to take the section forward.
Thank you so much, but I want your help to understand who is going to give the feedback on Miraj. Okay, great. Great, thank you so much. This is actually the 355th meeting of Toastmasters of the day. So I would like to invite first the speech evaluators, as because this is the portion we are always waiting for. The first speech was delivered by Toastmaster Miraj Siddiqui, as Niti has to go. So Anand will replace Niti and share the evaluation part for Toastmaster Miraj. Toastmaster Anand, all yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So good evening, everyone. I'm here to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Miraj Siddiqui. His topic was Dual Face of Digital World. I'm here on behalf of Niti, who was our evaluator. Movement. He was good in the speaking terms, but he was moving a lot. He was shuffling on stage. So if you can control this, you can have some voice modulations. Your sound was like monotonous. You can have some modulation added to make it more impactful, more effective. And your sentences were long enough to get people lost in your theme topic. Try to make some sentences in short sentences. So that's all from my side.
Great, thank you so much, Toastmaster Anand. Toastmaster Miraj actually disqualified in this section of delivering his speech. Which level it is? Level 2 speech 1 as DTM Pavitra. Pratibha. Sorry, I'm very bad with names. Okay, DTM Pavitra. Pratibha. Sorry, again, my bad. She articulated in her first session that she actually undergoes some old version of Toastmasters.
Not old, actually, like just 2 years back.
2 years back, where it was not there. Now we have some pathways, okay? So, and in these pathways, actually you can go and select your pathways where you can understand, and you have to create some speech. You have to write it down, practice it along with your mentor. She is also a mentor for some mentees, I believe. No? She is confused? Okay, great. No problem. Okay, so you under the guidance of some mentors, you can actually practice this session, and here in front of everyone you actually deliver the speech. And for that you have to qualify for that speech between 5 to 7 minutes, and in that section Miraj actually disqualified. But ever anyone listen to Miraj before this session, I believe I am, and Lavina and I am the actually experienced that. So my experience while listening to Miraj, actually he evolved a lot in his past session, and that's why we are here to understand and learn how to speak in front of public, and how to use these timings, and how to construct the sentence, what are the grammars we can use, and what are the structure of the thoughts. Previously, when I saw Miraj delivering his first ice breaking, he used to have that notebook or that cheat sheet, I can say that. He was like that, going back to his cheat sheet, read it out, then coming back to the platform and delivering the speech. So today what I experience is that this is a great improvement in his part. Great job, definitely. My only recommendation is that today also he forget in between. So that is actually the lack of practice. So you have to practice. Anyone in this room ever learned any sort of musical instruments? Guitar, harmonium, mouth organ. So we only have the chance in front of the teacher to practice once a week, isn't it? Every day we are not go in front of the teacher and learn from him or her, but we learn only once in the entire week, and then have to practice, okay, in our home. So in that part, I believe everyone we are lagging in this portion. So we can actually catch up. This is my recommendation. If we can catch up over the Zoom call or Teams call any day in the week, we can practice each other, okay? Otherwise, else you did a great job and you upgraded from your last version. So thank you so much. Next speech delivered by Toastmaster Anand, and for him Toastmaster Miraj is going to give the feedback. So Toastmaster Miraj, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So I'm Miraj Siddiqui again, and evaluating Anand's speech. And the good part about Anand is, before today, like you can observe humor in his speech. He is always confident whenever he is on the stage. He generally does not forget his content. That's the best part, because whatever you learn, whatever you prepare, you come here on the stage and you forget most of the part. So that's why people are not able to complete the speech, because this is general tendency. It is stage fear. That's what we call. What recommendation I have for Anand is that he should speak little louder, so that the person sitting on the last bench can hear him clearly. So that is the one recommendation. And again, the good part was that he started with examples, which if you convey anything with examples, people will remember it for a longer time of period. So that's all about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Miraj. Yes, Anand has a very unique style of speaking. Yes, of course, he is again disqualified. He took 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Disqualified because of timing?
Because of timing. You have to speak, both of them. You have to speak. So, beyond Toastmasters, we have districts, we have areas where we have some speech contests also, competitions also. There you have to speak for a certain time. Like this is a 100-meter race and you are just completing 50 meters. you are definitely be disqualified. But always Anand's speech is always with some information, whether it is staying there in US or it is using a credit card or using any sort of internet things. So I also recommend Anand that please join us so that we can practice throughout the week. Anytime post you come back from your job or from your classes, we can catch up at around 8:30 or 9:30 and we can practice over the Zoom call. Okay, and last but not the least, as here in this Toastmaster Club we use English as a first language. So whenever you use any other language, whether it is English, Bengali or Hindi, you just translate it, okay, to English. Otherwise we are just actually depicted the motto or the preferences of our club. Okay, and last but not the least, my speech. Okay, I would like to invite Toastmaster Lamina to share her thoughts, feedbacks.
A train journey. As the evaluator, my role today was to look out for the setting of the scene and the plot, and to note whether I was engaged and interested. Was I engaged and interested? Yes, I was, and I'm sure all of you were. The scene setting was fabulous. The beauty lay in the details. Sort of started with setting the date, the time, and what he was doing. He mentioned date, time, location. On a train platform waiting for a train traveling from Howrah to Purulia. That was the level of detail that was there. Lighting a cigarette was depicted. He showed he was holding a cigarette in one hand and a tea glass or a tea paper cup in the other. That all was there. How can you not be engaged when there is such a beautiful setting of the scene? And this continued through the speech. When he got onto the train was overcrowded, the hawkers were there. He sat near the door, enjoying the wind. Also, another very noteworthy element of the speech was humor. Using humor, he created a relation with the audience, especially the boys, when he asked that, doesn't every boy wish to have a beautiful looking girl who speaks sweetly in the same train journey? The humor was also repeated in the second half of the speech when he talked about he was sitting in front of the girl and he felt uncomfortable. So here there is a beautiful use of gender play which has been adopted. A recommendation would be on how to take the stage setting and the depictions to the next level. Saurav was narrating the scene from his perspective. However, the whole stage is there. When you're talking about that you're sitting next to the window and you saw the girl sitting a bit of a distance away in the same compartment, that can be depicted using stage movement. Here I was sitting next to the window and I saw the girls sitting there, being troubled by the two small boys. Two small boys may be depicted using hand gesture. They will be smaller in height, small boys. I went to where the girl was sitting and sat down in front of her. We have chairs here, make use of props. We can have one chair depict where the girl is sitting, and I sat down in front of her and I stared at the boys so as to make them conscious. Take your dramatics and theatrics to the next level. In the beginning, when he was standing having the cigarette and the chai, and a sweet voice came out of the blue. A sweet voice came out of the blue. You're searching for the voice. And I looked around and I see there is a pretty girl standing and she tells me, smoking is bad for health. Take a step back to your position, depict two different people, depict a dialogue. What was it that you responded here?
Time please.
Oh, sorry. Time please. Saurav did enact looking at the watch with the hand which was holding the tea glass. So I expected the next scene would be, oh my god, I burnt myself. The tea miraculously disappeared. Moving on, the other elements of the speech. The voice clarity, tonality, volume were all spot on. Anybody sitting at the back of the room in the farthest corner could hear Saurav very clearly. Next we come to grammar. Grammar has been a struggle because Saurav, English is not a native language And I remember when he had started his speeches in Toastmasters, and the journey he has traveled since has been remarkable. The story today was so enthralling that I missed count of grammar altogether. Lastly, Saurav's speeches, there is a very evident tell when Saurav comes to deliver his speech on stage. If it is a topic he's passionate about, his eyes will light up. You can hear that passion in his voice, you can see it in his eyes, especially when he talks about his profession, sales, or gives us any management gyan. Otherwise, if it's a topic which is a research topic or made up topic, he's done some research and is presenting, it's more of a robotic delivery. Today till the end I was confused whether it was a real life experience or a robotic delivery. So my complaint is, why did that passion not come along? I need to have a word with your wife. Time has never stopped you before. That is about it. A wonderful scene setting, incorporate dramatics to take it to the next level, and wonderful use of humor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I believe none other person can actually explain or evaluate in this level, as because when I joined in the year 2021 December, I joined Toastmasters, this club. She was the grammarian, and I always struggle with grammar in this particular language, and she used to evaluate my grammar, and that's why I joined this club. This is the first thing I always say in front of everyone. Okay, so on that note, this is the time to get the informations from the tag team, the timer, our counter, and the grammarian. Table topic evaluator. Okay, so before that, we just want to hear the table topic evaluations, and that is also from Toastmaster Lavina. Let's see.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We had 8 table topic speakers. We started with Neeti. Have you ever regretted something you did not say or you do? She spoke about her engagement with her daughters, which was an extremely emotional topic, and she delivered it very well. Next, we had guest Swati. What could society do without you? She was candid and very truthful. She said society will go on, everything goes on. A recommendation would be to go in detail. For example, she said society will go on. Here, the usage of time is also an important factor. You have to deliver an extempore for 1 to 2 minutes, whereas her time of usage was much lesser. So what you can do is, when you're saying society will go on, elaborate on how it will go on. Birds will continue to chirp. The sun will continue to rise and set. The moon will still come out. The stars will continue to shimmer. Elaborating on what you're talking about helps set the scene as well as take more of the time. Next, we had DTM Pratibha. What life lessons did you have to experience before you fully understood them? She started with humor, quite a lengthy topic, which we all agreed was. The lengthier the topic, the more difficult it is to get a grasp of it, which she did beautifully. She spoke about what she would tell her younger self now, having that experience of life lesson, what she would tell her younger self. She would tell her younger self to befriend failure, which was extremely valuable advice for all of us. She gave an analogy of sports, that it's a brilliant field to learn more every day, which is something a younger self would be able to understand and relate to. What I would have liked to understand is, why is she saying that one needs to befriend failure, or what is the experience she had which had led her to believe this, which was missing. That being said, her voice was beautiful, loud, clear, the pitch was perfect, anybody could hear her sitting anywhere in the room. Then we had Ajay Prajapati. Other than money, what have you gained from your current job? He started again saying that if you were to look back 10 years ago, other than money, he spoke about appreciation, great respect, the work being meaningful. He did tell us in the beginning that his work was that of a classroom teacher, but I would have wanted to hear more about how is the work meaningful. He could have spoken about he's adding value to the children's lives, giving them a meaningful future, making children into astronauts, doctors, engineers, architects, anything and everything. A second recommendation would be to work on the accent. There is a very evident accent which is there. But I love his confidence. The way he just comes on stage and rules it, kudos on that. We had Rachna. Any management strategy you would like to share? That 1.5, 2 minutes became a very valuable management lesson. I learned about the watermelon effect for the first time and I've noted it down. I'm definitely going to use it in my office. She spoke about learning to manage big teams, being honest, having acceptance, and being an active listener. What I would have wanted to hear about is that how has this been effective, or before and an after? Deploying this or employing this, what is the difference you felt? The teams are more engaged, the productivity is greater. Set a credential. Next we had Chitranjan, our self-driving cars, the future. He started with the good evening everybody, I am Chitranjan. When you have only a minute to speak, you can do away with these formalities in the interest of time. He spoke about that he does not believe self-driving cars are the future because one cannot ignore the importance of man. But how would a self-driving car threaten the importance of man? That is something to explore. Secondly, the time was not utilized. The speaker ended early. So one useful trick in such cases could be to speak about both stances. That if they are the future, this will happen. If they are not the future, this will happen. And I agree with this particular stance because of these reasons. That helps you make good use of time. Then we have guest Vikrant. How would you describe freedom in your own words? He started by saying that freedom is to be looked at from different points of view. There are external shackles and there are internal shackles. Internal shackles he spoke about. Now, external shackles, he spoke about freedom of speech and a patriarchal society. Both topics are extremely heavy topics. And these topics, especially patriarchal society and women freedom, are enough to get the hackles up of certain audience members. So when that is not the main theme of your speech, why go there? Choose more neutral topics, like external shackles such as the need to put food on the table or to pay taxes or have a roof over your head, which are common topics which everybody agrees with, rather than topics which might incite a debate. Then he went into the self-freedom from own thoughts. He established credibility here, which is beautiful. That impartial spectator that he was talking about was a tenet of Buddhism. What I would also have liked to know is how to exercise this impartial spectator and make it more robust. Is it meditation? Is there a technique? That would have helped us take a bit more away from the topic. That being said, the voice was beautiful, loud, clear, pitch, tonality, everything was perfect. That's about it in my evaluation, please.
I'll do that. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lavina, and I will continue doing my general evaluation part. Toastmasters Lavina's topic was favorite destination, beach or mountain. She started with saying that she is a sea girl, but because of our human nonsense activities, how the nature actually destroyed and deteriorated with the time. That's why means our feelings actually shifted from sea to mountain, and as because staying with me for 1.5 years, you definitely actually what I can say that my influence is always there because I am a mountain person. Anyone in this room ever heard about stress and failed that? Stress and failed that in your life. Feel that, yes. What you did? Anyone? Meditation. You ma'am never felt that stress?
Take a
Very nice.
coffee, or this in front of mountains.
In front of mountains. Okay, whenever you feel stress, you go into mountain.
To call someone and feel to share our
To talk to
feelings.
someone. Okay, every.
Sit alone and listen music.
Okay, whether stress is good or bad? Anyone?
Good.
It's
Good.
But taking too much is not good. Taking too much is not good.
Stress is actually good and bad. Okay, so the best part is that you have to actually understand what is stress and what is tiredness. Okay, whenever you are tired, you feel that it is the stress and you have to take rest. So whenever we feel stress, actually, I drive to mountain, and that is actually Rishikesh, Nainital, and all. And how come if you are staying with me and you are not being influenced? So thank you so much from this shifting from sea to mountain. And one day today I'm actually planning to visit Valley of Flowers. Okay, you can join me. And now the vote part. Please vote for the favorite or best evaluator. You have that sheet with you. Okay, table topic evaluator and speech evaluator. And in the meantime, timer. I would like to invite timer, the tag team timer. Okay, so can you please prepare yourself and share your report? Sure. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Miraj. Anand,
My report card is only one person was qualified, and it was like Saurabh, who took 7 minutes 2 seconds, and other than that, I took 4 minutes 21 seconds to complete the speech, which was not qualified, and then again Anand, he took around 4 minutes to complete the speech. So a person needs to deliver a speech at least 5 minutes, from 5 minutes to 7 minutes. That was the limit. And this is regarding table topics. So Niti took 1 minute 25 seconds, Swati took 40 seconds, Pratibha took 20 minutes 19 seconds, Ajay Prajapati took 1 minute 57 seconds, Lavina took 1 minute 30 seconds, and Rachna took 1 minute 57 seconds, Chitranjan took only 50 seconds, and then Vikrant took 1 minute 57. So that was all about it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Miraj. Now is the time for the fluency and the speaking part. So that's why I would like to invite Toastmaster Anand to share his report on aha counter and grammar part also. Both.
Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anand.
Hello everyone again. So now I have the report of R's and nouns and so's and knows. Lavina and Saurabh were flawless. Miraj 2 R's and 1 and. I was also flawless. That's the report. Radiant Pratibha 5 R's and 3 knows. Ajay 1 R, 1 so and 2 like. Rachna 5 R's and 1 right. Chitranjan 2 so's and 2 like. And Vikrant 2 so's and 10 R's. That's it from my side. That's it. Our count. Now, report for grammarian. Today's word was speaker. The idiom was boil the ocean. Toastmaster Lavina, Radiant Pratibha, and guest Vikrant use the idiom once. And some good usages of language are hawkers, offended, pedestrian, enthusiasm, intimidate, holistic, shackles, patriarchal, putting the best foot forward, and spectator. Some bad usages are light a cigarette. It should be lit a cigarette. Swipe your sweating. It could be wipe your sweat. That's it.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anand. Now this is the time to give your vote for best auxiliary role player, aha counter, grammarian, and timer. That's because we don't have active listener, so we can opt it out. We can take 10 seconds for that. Now the general evaluations part. I believe you are already experienced that the meeting started at 3:20 as because this was a club from 3 to 5. We have to. We're discussing this for quite some time. I believe I request Miss President to take the charge and start the meeting on time. Okay, going forward so that we can actually maintain our timing and we can have some chit chat, good chit chat time so that we can connect our dots and make some larger community. As Lavina, as a president, just explained that this is the 6th year running this club, and this club experienced a lots of things, lots of incidents, lots of events. So I would request all the guests who yet to decide which club we are going to join. This is one of the club you can select. Apart from that, this is a very diversified club. Okay, so we have very different kind of professionals who can actually help each other to understand and also help each other to overcome this fear of public speaking. And you can, what we discuss inside this room, that this is the club where we have the opportunity to speak, everybody. Okay, so this kind of setup we have. So apart from that, yes, the timing is one of the things which we have to work on. And last but not the least, the small talk. I believe everyone enjoyed this session, everyone engaged, everyone participated. And that's why we can actually give a round of applause to Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Lavina. And to conclude this session, I would like to invite Toastmaster Lavina to have her final closing statement.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. One final section on how to make small talk. So we spoke about how the emotions you are feeling get relayed in the voice. Now what about body language? What about if you're sitting in front of the person? I would like to invite 2 volunteers on stage. How about Vikrant and Chitranjan? I'm just picking people in the rest of the time. Quickly. Sit. Okay, so we set a stage wherein we are okay, who wants to be the CEO and who wants to be the salesperson? Okay, a CEO or CIO. So just embody Rachna right now. And you are a salesperson. You have gone to. You're meeting him to talk about your products. Okay, so let's do that. Any you want to sell him computers, laptops. Yeah. Yes, yes.
Hello, we have a very nice product, MRF bag. Recently we have introduced it. So the bag quality is very nice, and it will sustain long. It will sustain very good, and the end of it.
Okay, just freeze here. Just freeze here. What are you saying in the body language? So were you
Not interested?
Not interested.
Who is not interested? Okay.
See you.
And what are you saying here?
Aggressive?
So we had Chitranjan at the edge of his seat. He's trying to make a point. He's trying to convince. By being at the edge of his seat, he's trying to show that enthusiasm. Carry on.
So recently Virat Kohli has been added this MRF bag. So and many popular player in Indian cricket is using.
So here you can see the shift of power very clearly. He's staying still. He's listening, he's not listening, he's thinking about onions or tomato prices. He does not have a lot at stake in this meeting. He is the one who has a lot of stake at stake, and he is doing that. He continues.
So it's a very popular one. So can you buy it from our company? And it will be very good for us also.
What's the use of this product as a CL? What will my employees get?
See, you can conduct any games in your department as well, like annual game, a sports game, so that people can be there. It might be in your company. People must get lot of works day and night.
So I'll do one thing. I'll put you in touch with my HR.
So he's not interested. He's putting him in
Sorry,
touch
put you?
with the HR.
I'll put you in touch with my HR.
And punishing the
Okay.
leaders.
Fine, I will talk to your HR.
Now, hang on, don't run away yet. So So a very common trick of body language is to mirror the person in front of you. So here we have Vikrant who's leaning to the right. We have Chitranjan who's sitting extremely still. So Chitranjan was mirroring the body language in the beginning. However, when Vikrant shifted focus, he's leaning to the right. Can you see that? You also do that. Mirroring creates psychological likability. That's
But how would you mirror in this case then if I'm sitting here?
when he shifts to his left.
Can you show?
You can see.
Shift to your left. No.
Lean towards.
Okay.
Lean to the left. No, not piche, left.
Okay, kind of.
I'll sit like him now.
Get up.
But there's actually an entire movement against mirroring now.
But okay.
His
Left hand is up.
Toastmasters and all is played a very
This
big
foot
role
is
in
towards the
this
front,
side,
this one is to the back.
body language, and
That's a very common sales technique which we use even today.
But I mean, since he's someone who has to sell something to me, would it be appropriate for him to like sit back like that?
It is appropriate because you are meeting the CEO or a CIO, right? So even if you're not there of that same designation, unless the CEO or the CIO is doing a very significant power play, for example, you do this, so that is not something that you can mirror.
Yeah.
That is something which might be a bit too far or too much, but subtle. If that is something that is your convenient way of sitting, we are establishing that commonality. That's about it, ladies and gentlemen, with our theme today, how to make small talk. Thank you so much. While the votes are being counted, I will request the guests to come back on stage one by one and share with us whether the meeting lived up to their expectations and any recommendations they would have for us. I start with Rachna.
I think it was a great session in terms of learning how the entire logistics and everything session is structured, to kind of understand that, because I was totally novice to this. So I kind of got a hung of how the session is going through. It was a great explanation at the at the first to kind of set those expectations, who's speaker, who's evaluator. Though there were some glitches in, first speaker is not ready, get the second one, and then they are kind of confused that which one to really pick now. So those were the things, but otherwise it was a great learning as well as a session. Very great delivery.
Thank you, Rachna. We next have Vikrant.
Yeah, so I think the session was pretty good in the sense we got some theory, we got some advice on small talk, body language, etc. Yet we got the chance to talk, like enough opportunity to actually practice and talk. So I felt it was like a holistic session, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Ajay.
Everybody has something to do and to move forward in life. I guess everybody wants to get somewhere ahead in life. And what is the most important for all of us is actually the learning. And learning in the sense, I'm not talking about that. Learning is only happens when you have hunger to actually make yourself better. I'm honored to have such a great people right here and having a great experience from the life. I'm sure having Rachna ma'am and I forgot her name, Pratibha ma'am, having such a great people with different experiences actually. So I really feel a lot to gain, not for me but for all of us, directly or indirectly, which is gonna help us get ahead in career or in life or whatever things, the goal, the achieve, the mission, whatever vision that we want to go for. I think this is definitely going to help all of us, and we actually become the student. Or I think it's a great opportunity for me just to become the student. Or it's actually it is a wonderful experience, like among you guys, or to learn from your experiences. That would definitely going to help me actually to better in my career. And I think this was wonderful. I'm really honored to have this wonderful place. Thank you, Lavina.
Thank you, Ajay.
today's activities in the meeting actually can help me to boil the ocean and to make me a good speaker. The minute details that were discussed in the meeting is the main thing I like about the whole meeting.
Thank you so much.
Next, we would like to invite Pratima, please.
I'll actually just pass out here because I'm a former Toastmasters members and I will give like a complete list of by 5:15 the first speaker should be on stage. So
No, tell. 5:15.
by 5:15 the first speaker needs to be on stage. So the introduction of Toastmasters, welcoming the guests, explaining all the roles, all that needs to be completed by 5:15. 5:15 the first speaker comes on stage. MC address. Sorry, I'm so used to my club used to start at 5. So by 3:15 the first speaker needs to be on stage. Like the MC address, all that needs to be completed in 14 minutes. 15 minutes the first speaker needs to be. So in our club we used to start, even if there is just one member, the meeting starts, at 3 p.m. out here.
So it's more of a timely.
Bangalore is more professional, not like Delhi.
That doesn't matter.
Delhi means
सब चलता है attitude.
Delhi is more of jugar mode.
Next, we have Chitranjan.
Chitranjan, the upcoming IS person. IS or IPS?
Good evening, everyone. So this was my second meeting, and it was very nice. It is nice, and I got a lot of opportunity to interact, kind of well brain, you can say, and definitely I love the best part of this meeting was I love the activity in which everyone engaged in that. So I love, and I am exploring as a new member. So it was totally very good experience, and I know in future if I will join this club, I will learn lot of from good brain as well, and I will improve my communication skills as well as leadership quality, so that it will improve in my future in interview as well as anywhere we go. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Chitranjan. Thank you for being here.
Alina, I missed pointing out one good thing as well. Sorry. One other thing I want to just call out is the feedback. I guess that's the beauty of the session, the entire session, to kind of help you grow. And honest feedback, be it a speaker, be it a president, VP, whatever you kind of share. But I think everyone needs that authentic feedback to kind of help. So that was the best part. Very nice. Thank you.
Toastmasters, there's a very popular phrase that said, in contests, you also have an evaluation contest. So every person who's a part of the evaluation contest will come and say, evaluation is the feedback of champions.
True.
So it's actually one of the most important.
We move to the second last section, which is the awarding the winners of the voting. We had the best speaker. Any guesses for this one? Saurabh. Saurabh, we request you on stage.
Please.
Even if you had worthy opponents would have qualified, I am sure you would have been a very worthy participant. The stage setting was simply beautiful.
Yes, finally.
So I request the general evaluator
After
to stay
6
back.
months, I'm getting this.
After 6 months. Wow. Next meeting we'll have a pizza party from Saurabh.
Yes, please join.
We have the best table topic speaker. Any guesses? Vikrant.
Please.
Louder claps, please.
Yes, thank you.
This is based on the voting.
Yes, it was based on the voting.
Public voting.
Hold the certificate as well.
No influence.
Thank
you
you
so much.
We have the best auxiliary role player. That was Anand.
Thank you so much. Last but not the least, best role player. Any guess? Toastmaster of the day, general evaluator.
Lavina ma'am.
Lavina ma'am. Yes, it is. Lavina. Can we capture a moment? Can you join me, everyone?
Yes, I invite everybody here for a quick photograph,
Team
please.
photograph. You can see, you can use the chairs also.
And then if you want to switch, we can get the chairs in front.
Yes. Sweetest boy.
He appeared very sad on the photo. Pratibha, come closer. No. Come here then.
I'm still not.
Hey, cheese. Use that team patti na.
Use that
We are. I'm clicking.
selfie.
I'm clicking yours.
No, come in a selfie, no, Saurabh.
The selfie.
All people in the back, please.
There you come.
You're hiding.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. The meeting is closed.
Officially closed. Great. Thank you, President, for the certificate.
साइड सर से बात हुई थी मेरी जमीन वाला
ज्वाइनिंग क्या अभी तक हुआ नहीं, पैसा नहीं दिया?
वो उन्होंने कहा कि फॉर्म भेजा था उसके आगे हुआ नहीं कुछ हुआ नहीं स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ
पैसे दिया?
नहीं फॉर्म भी नहीं दिया
चेक करके बताता हूँ। मेरा नंबर है ना,
नहीं
9811426619। फोन लेके आएगा तभी तो। हाँ हाँ, please join. Please take my number. Is there? Say hi. 9811 Sorry. Okay, just WhatsApp me. Say hi.
Okay, then we are done for today's
Yes. Thank you so much, Miraj. Thank you, Vikrant.